Hello, today is the 2nd of January 2025. Welcome to this new year and this new video. I would say I just want to chat a bit, I just want to talk a bit, and because that usually just helps me a lot. And I've been wanting to do this for a couple of days, so today I was just like, why not do it? So one thing I kept in my mind that I knew I wanted to tell in some video is this story. So basically we were flying from Spain to Ireland, which was me, my sister Amy and Dad. If you've watched my other videos, you may know that Dad has emetophobia, which is a very strong fear of vomiting and of getting sick. Basically we were like, it all went well until we were sitting in our seats on the plane, because on the seatbelt he saw some like brown stains. So he looked at it and he was like frozen. He didn't move, didn't want to touch it, and immediately asked me and Amy like, guys, what is this? Is this chocolate? Is this chocolate? Because that means it might be from a child that maybe threw up and then I could get sick. He was like really panicking, asking me and Amy multiple times, guys, what is this? What is this? Is this rust? Are you sure it's just rust? Is this chocolate? What is it? Because chocolate, like, it's not funny. If that's chocolate, it's not funny. He was like really panicking, and he asked us to check our seatbelts if they had it too, and Amy's did a little bit, mine didn't really, but it really looked like rust. And so we tried to assure him like, it's all good, it's probably just rust, it's very unlikely that that's chocolate and so on. And then he grabbed loads of baby wipes and tried to like clean it off, and yeah, he kept looking at it and trying not to touch it, and really like kept like inspecting it, kept asking like, what is this, guys? Would you really think it's just rust? I then tried to assure him like that our granny, she is a doctor, and she used to say to us that germs don't survive so long on surfaces, so that most likely the germs are already dead. And he was like, didn't Granny really say that? Did she say that? And I could just see in his eyes like the panic and the fear, like his pupils were so big and black, and he was like really looking around so afraid, and like his hand was like shaking and stuff. Yeah, he was experiencing a panic attack, and my sister Amy kept looking over at me, and she was like kind of shaking her head and her eyes would go wide, and she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Basically she was like, wow. Afterwards, after it was all over, she told me that really scared her. But I just looked at Dad and saw the panic in his face and the way he looked at us, like so powerless, helpless, like begging for someone to save him basically. And I just looked at him and I was like, Papa, which we always say Papa to Dad and Mama to Mom because that's German. So I said, Papa, you are safe. It's okay. It's all okay. We're here. So I really basically caught his attention and just knew from what I needed to hear in those moments when I experienced something like that was for someone to just tell me or show me I am safe. And I knew as well that when you feel so powerless and so helpless and so afraid of something, it's because you don't feel safe in that moment. You feel like something's about to happen to you, something's about to attack you, like you're not safe and you can't even help yourself. So I knew in that moment that's what he needed to hear. And it's not that I just said it because I knew, like, you know, people in panic, like that's kind of what they need to hear, or that's what I needed to hear. It wasn't just because of that, but it was because he was safe. He was okay. He was safe with us. We were there. I knew he would manage it. He would get through it. That in reality, he was safe. The thing is, even if the reality wouldn't have been safe either, it's still when you feel safe on the inside, the reality, this non-safety out there can't affect you as much. Like you feel much more capable of handling it and getting through it. But I meant 100% what I said in that moment. And I saw in him how something changed in his eyes. And I then just reminded him, look, you wanted to listen to Christmas music on the plane, so just put in your earphones, put on some Christmas music, and just relax. That's what you wanted to do. And that's also what he did pretty quickly after I had said, you know, he's safe. After a couple minutes, he just turned to us again, just saying like, I'm so sorry you had to see that. Like, that's what feels so horrible for me now, that, you know, you had to witness that and see that happening. But, you know, there's nothing he needs to feel sorry about. The next day, he approached me. He was like, do you have a second for me? And first I was like, oh no, what's he gonna say? But then when I went to him, he kind of looked down a bit, but also, you know, looked at me and was like, I just wanted to say thank you for what you said yesterday on the plane, because it meant a lot to me, and it actually made me realize how no one actually ever said that to me before. How no one ever said to me, told me, or assured me that I'm safe. That, you know, his whole life he hasn't felt safe. You know, no one provided him with that, and he himself couldn't give that to himself. He didn't really know what it was. Yeah, he gave me a hug and started crying, and I just hugged him back, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, genuinely, I was like, wow, I'm so sorry. And I just knew in that moment that's what you needed to hear, and I knew that it was true, that you are safe. So yeah, it was such a special, lovely moment, and I could see how he genuinely meant it and was genuinely grateful that I was there and that I said that to him. And yeah, it's not my responsibility, of course, to fix his problems, to solve it. I can't. But what I said, just something inside of him accepted it. Something inside of him realized there is the possibility of feeling safe. There is this part inside of him that can feel safe, that can be his safety. And that's, I mean, I was so, you know, proud of myself, and I was so grateful for myself as well that I was able to say something that he could accept inside himself and realize inside himself. And I was so proud of myself then as well. It was just so nice, and he just was really grateful. So yeah, that's the one story I wanted to definitely tell. Yeah, the rest is kind of just an average review of what's going on. Yeah, so for the rest of the video, I'm just gonna kind of talk about the rest of things that are just currently going on. So, yeah, since I think my last video, that was about what happened between me and dad and then me and mom or something. I think that was my last video, and since then I kind of have this underlying sadness in me. And I've learned through the Thrive program and through my last call with Lisa, which was a couple days ago, I fall into like blips, basically into holes where it's quite dark and often hard to get out of, and everything's quite negative. Basically moments that are quite challenging. That's what blips are, like moments that are very challenging and you kind of lose the view of the path you're currently on. Yeah, so I know and learned that I usually fall into blips when I'm beating myself up. That is what I was doing since my last video, or when that situation happened. I was beating myself up a lot. Yeah, so I was able to help myself when I like stopped beating myself up and realized I'm beating myself up the whole time and I don't want to do that anymore. So I basically stopped or noticed there's no need for that. Like, it doesn't help anyone really. But yeah, something inside of me just was still lingering the whole time since then. Something was just like in my mind that I couldn't accept, that I felt like I couldn't deal with, some sort of aspect of the whole situation that to me was like unacceptable, to me was like a burden. It felt like I'm carrying something heavy around with me the whole time. It felt something like a real problem. I feel like more actually what happened between me and Mom, and it was something she said or that I took on, and I just felt like this is a real problem. I can't just, live a happy life when that's something that was real and that's something that was said or was done. I was like, how am I ever supposed to be okay and live a happy life when these things happen, these things were said, and those are real? Like, I can't just ignore that and live without problems when I literally have this problem or this happened. It's like a real burden, as if like I can't get rid of it and somehow don't want to either. Maybe I know that in that situation, what happened in my last video, what scared me was that it reminded me a lot of the past, and I kind of had that feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can handle it, which I haven't had really since my depression. I always kind of knew I can handle it, even if it didn't really feel like it, I still was like, I'll manage. This time, for the first time again, I felt quite powerless, and I was like, what if things will happen that I can't handle, that I won't be able to handle? And I know that like it's all just a perspective, it's all just a belief, it's all about how powerful we feel, and I obviously felt very powerless in that situation. When you feel like you can't handle something, it's because you feel very powerless, you believe you're powerless, and that can all absolutely change. It's all just about, the mindset, and I'm learning. That's all what I'm learning in the Thrive program. But yeah, there was something I just couldn't, like an itch I can't scratch. Like there was something I just couldn't get rid of. Something that inside of me, I just kept creating this lingering feeling of sadness. And I knew it was something that happened between me and Mom. It was like, obviously, my thoughts were catastrophizing as well, like, oh my god, what if my depression will happen again, and Mom will never understand me again, or she thinks of me in a horrible way. I don't want my parents to think of me the way they do, or what they said about me. I hope they don't actually see me that way, and so on. It was like, when I thought of them seeing me in a way that I don't want to be seen, or seeing me as a person I don't want to be, or me seeing myself as a person I don't want to be. Because if I'm worried about them seeing me in a way that I don't want to be seen, then I'm worried about my own thoughts about that, not actually the fact that, maybe they see me as someone who I don't want to be. But I'm more worried about, my own thoughts, that I don't want to be seen that way. And I'm scared to see myself that way. I'm scared to like wake up one day or one moment and be like, oh my god, I am a really horrible person, or I did all these bad things, or I'm not getting far at all, or like I'm failing at everything, I'm really dumb, I'm really stupid, I could never, do this or that, I could never be a cool, fun person. So, and those thoughts are obviously all beating me up, telling me how, stupid I am, and how I'm going to wake up one day to realize what a horrible person I am. So that creates this blip inside of me. But yeah, it's something, again, that I can't control. I can't control the way people see me. So that makes me feel powerless. Yeah, that sort of created that sadness. And then whenever something happened, like something small, I would immediately fall back into that sadness and be like, and catastrophize the whole thing, be like, oh my god, it's all getting worse, what if I can't handle it anymore, no, it can't happen, and stuff like that. And yeah, obviously it's not as strong as my depression because I am a different person now. I've learned so much, I've gone through so much, I continue to learn, I've changed and grew. So I am a different person, my experiences are different still. Yeah. And then, saying goodbye to my job in Spain because me and Amy aren't teachers anymore. The plan was only to work there until Christmas anyway. We were allowed to continue working there if we wanted to, but me and Amy decided not to, and we were quite happy with our decision, quite relieved, because it just took up so much of our time. Even though it was just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 3 to 8, and then Thursdays from 4 to 6. So like it wasn't even a full-time job or anything, but it really took up, so much of our time. And there was always something I needed to do for the job outside of the paid hours, outside of working hours, or something I needed to remember, or something, there was always something going on in my mind. And I know that, I could have enjoyed that job, or I can, once I completely manage my thinking. That's what I'm working on in the Thrive program again, managing all those thoughts and feelings and thinking styles. So I know that it is possible to enjoy a job like this, and it doesn't need to take up as much of your time, especially in your mind, as it did for me. But still, even though I enjoyed a lot of it, I was still just relieved when I knew, like, after Christmas I don't have to go back there. And I still don't know what I want to do now, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew is I didn't really want to continue this job. Even though I never dreaded going into work, I was never like, oh, I really don't want to go, it's so horrible. Even though I was quite anxious beforehand a lot of the time, but I learned a lot, I grew a lot, became more independent and confident and stuff. But still, I just didn't want to continue it. I wanted to focus more on myself, feel myself more, because I noticed the 4 months now that we were working there, I didn't really have time ever to really ask myself, how am I doing? What's going on? Like, just calm down, ground yourself again, really feel where I am, what I'm doing. I couldn't really notice where I was, and what I was doing. It was all kind of a rush and one thing after the next, and I always had something to do every day. For the past 4 months, there was always something I had to do every single day. And, I really just didn't ever really check in with myself, how am I doing? Let's just take a breath, feel where I am. See, I'm in Spain with my sister and working here, and it's so lovely, and I've got this house and nature and the sun and so on, but I couldn't at all feel myself. But I knew that was happening, so that's the good part. That's something that kept me sort of grounded, that I noticed. I'm kind of in a rush the whole time. I'm not really checking in with myself, and I'm not really feeling where I am. My mind is very much occupying almost every second of my day. So I was aware that it was happening, but I was ready to stop it. But now I'm so sad. Not that we're not working there anymore, because I knew I did that for myself. I made that decision for myself, but I do miss some of the students, quite a lot of them. It was nice being in a classroom teaching them, being there with my sister. It was my dream since I was young. Since I can remember, I've always wanted to teach. And the fact that my dream came true and I got to experience that is just so amazing. And nothing bad ever happened, and I learned more, I grew more confident, and it was a nice environment to be in and a nice community of people. So I do miss that, and I'm very sad I couldn't enjoy it as much as I had hoped, or I would have liked to. I think I'm just very sad, and I don't know if that's regret or whatever, but I noticed that as well. You know, I was aware I'm not really enjoying it, and I would like to enjoy it more. I would like to be less stressed about it, think about it less. You know, there's no need to think about it as much as I did. But obviously that's my social anxiety as well, which I'm working on and so on. But so I am sad I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, and I'm sad that it's just over as well. I am quite sad about that. And then not really knowing what I'm gonna do next. Like I want to work on my own project. Keep working on that. I haven't edited videos in so long. I want to get behind that. I have so many videos to edit. I think I'm on July still and it's January, so half a year of videos I need to edit. And like, I want to keep working on the script. I want to finally film either a short film or a movie or a series out of my project. I want to make it happen, but at the same time there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if I'm ready, because I want to make it happen. Once I know I'll enjoy it, I'll be able to enjoy it and feel it and actually be in the moment and love what I do. I don't want to do it when I know that all I'm going to do is think about it, stress about it, doubt myself, always think like, oh, I don't really want to do this, I don't want to be here, I want to enjoy, but I feel like I can, and like stressing about, I need to get this perfect. What if I don't have everything? Stressing about like, okay, I need to get to work. Come on, do it, go to work. Don't relax as much, don't watch so much TV, like go to work. I don't want to do the project when I'm going to ruin it for myself, basically, by stressing about it. I want to do it when I know I can enjoy it and love what I do. And also I want to do it when I know I'm stable enough and capable enough to handle any negative comments on it, any hate comments going out into the world and people getting to know my story. I want to be able to handle that. And I feel like if I stay anonymous for a while anyway, or maybe all the time, that maybe I'll be able to handle it better. But I keep remembering that I'm doing this for the people that want it and that need it, for the people that it can help and bring forward in life. That's who I'm doing it for, and I'm doing it for myself because I've wanted to do this for so long. So there's this going back and forth, and I want to reach out to other producers, other production companies as well, because my producer just lets me hanging there a lot of the time, where I have to wait for a reply for weeks sometimes. And then it's just going so slow, and I can't really rely on him, even though I love it. I love him, and I love, the people I get to work with, and I love it because they let me do it the way I want to. They let me imagine what I imagine, and they let me create that and give me that space to express myself, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I really had that, and I love working with them. They're so friendly, and I couldn't have wished for a better, community of people in that sense. But I need to be able to rely on them as well, and want this project to go forward and not be waiting there, hanging there for weeks at a time. And then there's this with my friend Mario as well, that like, we're good friends and so on. And the thing is, I'm open for more as well. If there would be more, or try out, or just see if there's more, I'd be open for that. But at the same time, I'm terrified of that. I'm like, no, safety zone is just friendship. No more. All good. Friendship is enough. I'm like, I'm really scared of the whole relationship, being committed, then come towards sex and body and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, there's still things I want to work on, of course, and I've gotten so much better already. Like the fact that I'm even considering dating someone, or feeling comfortable enough around someone, just shows how much I have changed and learned and grew. But then knowing like he doesn't want a relationship, and he very likely doesn't see me as potential and isn't interested in that currently anyway, and yeah, and then I notice how like I'm kind of getting a bit jealous of his best friend, which is a girl, and they've been friends for years, and I wouldn't want that to be ripped apart. I would never want to come between that. I would never want to take that away from him, because it's lovely he has someone like that. But I'm like, I just wish, you know, I had that too. And that's, I think I'm remembering my past pain, because I do have a friend. I have him, you know, he's an amazing friend and I love it. And I don't want to take a step towards a relationship if I knew that would ruin the friendship. Then I would just love for us to be friends. But the thing is, I think I need to know, like, is there potential, or is this just gonna stay a friendship, so that I can let go of all the other thoughts and just be like, I have an amazing friend. Yeah, I think the fact that I'm not someone's best friend, or like someone doesn't choose me to hang out with and have fun with and so on, is just really upsetting, because I would love to be such good friends with someone, have fun with someone and so on. And then, you know, when I see them together, I'm like, he likes her way more. I could never be that fun. I don't drink, I don't go partying, like I'm so boring. You know, he would never choose me over her, and, you know, it was stupid stuff. And I hate, you know, I really don't like that I'm jealous. It's, the thing is, I don't want them to be ripped apart. I'm annoyed at the jealousy. I'm annoyed, or envy, whatever. I don't really know the difference, but like, I'm annoyed at that feeling. I'm annoyed that when I see pictures of them together, that I feel envious or jealous. And I don't want that feeling. I want to be okay with them being together and being best friends, and, you know, whatever they do, I want to be okay with that and still know that I am worthy too, and I'm good enough, and I can be someone's best friend. And but it just shows how, like, I don't think of myself as someone who is potential for being someone's best friend, someone they would choose to hang out with over anyone else. Like, it's just, I'm telling myself how I'm not good enough again, like, you know, beating myself up about that. And I'm just upset that I feel jealous, and that shows that I'm just insecure. But again, what I do about that is what counts. So if I go to him and be like, why are you hanging out with her, or she's so stupid, or I put her down, or I tell him to meet up with me more often, or, you know, that would be not so good. And I wouldn't want to do that. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna allow jealousy to take me over, and then I'm gonna be this crazy person who, for example, suddenly goes partying, suddenly drinks, you know, suddenly smokes, suddenly, you know, dresses really sexy just to win over someone, or just for someone to choose me above anyone else. Like, I'm scared of that, because I've had thoughts like, what if I would just go, you know, to a concert with him and, you know, just have fun. I wouldn't need to drink, I wouldn't need to go crazy, I could be myself. But then I'm like, is that me though? Would I still be myself if I would actually go to a concert or a disco? Like, a disco isn't really in the question, even though I'm like now considering, would I still be myself in a disco? Like, I don't know, I'm scared to not be myself anymore. That's why I always was so against drinking, smoking, taking drugs, going partying, going to discos. Like, I was so against it. But now through the Thrive program, I've kind of loosened those beliefs. But I'm just afraid that, like, if I would go to, you know, a concert, for example, that would mean I'm suddenly different. I'm someone I don't want to be. I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared I'll turn into someone I don't want to be. And at the same time, like, if I'm at a concert and I'm still myself, like, you know, that maybe that's possible. What if that means the fact that I'm even going to a concert, that I've changed for the worse, or that I'm now someone I don't want to be? I don't know. Or what if suddenly I won't have the belief that drinking is bad, and then, you know, I'll drink and I'll get drunk, but then I'll be someone that I currently don't want to be. I think if I would still be myself, if I would still be able to recognize myself in it, if I would go to a concert, which I would go with my siblings, for example, and we would dance or sing along to the songs and just, you know, have fun, then I would still be able to recognize myself, and I would still be myself. Then I'd be like, yeah, I would consider going to a concert then and just having fun and laughing and stuff if I would still be myself. But yeah, I don't know. There's this back and forth just all the time, as well, like with my mind is like, I don't know what I want. Do I just want him as a friend? Do I want to see if there's more? Thing is, I wouldn't really do anything or say anything to him because I know he doesn't want a relationship. He doesn't see me that way, I'm pretty sure. So I don't want to overstep things or ask him, for example, you know, would you consider anything more, in case I ruin the friendship. But at the same time, I just want clarity in my mind. Like right now, there's so many things that are just going back and forth, and I don't know what I want to do. I don't really know where I stand, if I want to be in Spain or Ireland right now. Like right now I kind of want to be in Ireland more because my family's here. You know, I'm afraid of, you know, being in Spain alone, feeling lonely, being there with dad, alone as in, you know, with dad but not with my siblings. And, you know, I'm scared of if arguments were to happen between me and dad, and then I'd be like in the house with him, and, you know, with him alone in Spain. I don't know. And then do I want to take on another job with like animals, which I could imagine, but do I do that in Ireland or in Spain, and do I actually want that? Like, and then, like, you know, I want to have a job because I want to continue to earn money so that I can go and do nice things, buy nice things, also help my parents a bit because I give them a bit of money each month, only since I'm living in Spain. And now that I'm 19 and stuff, I think that's fair, and I was fine with that. But now that I don't have a job anymore, I'm not earning money currently, so I'm like, you know, I don't like that. But also I know that this is my grandparents, or especially my granny's voice, also kind of my parents, but especially my granny's voice in my head saying, like, you know, you need to earn money, you need to have a job. It's not good enough when, you know, you're just not doing anything currently, which I'm not doing anything because I am doing my own projects, but I'm not earning money with that currently. So it's like I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I should have a job, even though right now I don't really want one necessarily. I want to work on my own project and see if, you know, I can enjoy that. But at the same time, I can imagine working with animals and maybe once or twice a week doing something with them and taking care of them. But, you know, it's kind of pressure, and it's like I just don't feel good enough currently. I'm like, and I can't decide, and this undecisiveness, like not being able to make a decision, is like, it's confusing me, and there's so many things in my head, and I don't feel like I'm just able to relax because I feel like I should be doing something. You know, it's like seeing my friend, for example, going out for days in a row during New Year's and stuff, and then me just, you know, sitting at home watching a movie on the couch every single day. It's like I just feel like I'm not good enough, but at the same time it's so many other people's voices in my head, and I'm like, girl, relax, it's fine, I'll figure it out. That's what's been going on. But, you know, but my call with my coach a couple days ago was so amazing. Like, it was a really good call. You know, I came on it with this lingering sadness inside of me, and I came off it being like, wow, I have so much potential, so many opportunities, possibilities, I can handle it, I can do it. I came off like thriving, and the whole day it lasted, and the next morning it lasted. Then it kind of fizzled away more and more because I let the negative thoughts come back in, and the sadness, and beating myself up again and not feeling good enough, pressurizing myself to do something instead of just sitting on the couch. Then again, challenging my thoughts, trusting that, I'll figure it out. It's all okay. Whose voice is in my head? I learned so much on that call with my coach. I had like a lot of questions prepared for the first time. Like, I often had bullet points prepared and I was like, yeah, we can kind of talk about this a bit. But this time I really had certain questions I wanted to ask. And, talking about that with her and her asking me questions that challenged my thoughts was so amazing, and I felt so much more powerful afterwards. And beforehand I was quite powerless, because I felt like there's nothing I can do, or it feels like there's nothing I can do, and it feels like I'm not getting anywhere, it feels like I'm not getting better. So that's all like so powerless. But then after the call I was like, look at all the things I can do, look at all the opportunities I have, look at how there's absolutely no freaking need to worry about anything, look at how I'll figure it out, how I can challenge my thoughts and just not worry and just be happy and thriving and figure things out along the way. And sense of power and control we really built up in that session. And yeah, looking at my self-esteem and social confidence, and I've gotten so much better. But also in the past few days I was like, did I actually get better, or did I just pretend like I wasn't actually nervous even though I was? Did I just push that feeling down? But no, I did so many things, considered so many things which I would have never even considered in the past. Like going to the gym, for example, with my friend. Like, he asked me to go, and I actually considered it. I'm still considering it, even though in the past few days I've felt less powerful. I was like, no, if something embarrassing were to happen, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. Like, that would be so bad. I don't want, and I imagine myself in the gym and like certain things happening, or that I do certain things that are so embarrassing. But still, I'm like, I want to go there because I want to build up my social confidence. And when I was in Spain, I was more confident than I am now, because maybe that's because I'm with my family and giving them some responsibility for what I could take responsibility for and change inside myself. So yeah, anyway, I don't really know. Do I want to go back to Spain now on the 6th? Do I want to stay here longer? I kind of want to stay here, but I know that going to Spain could help me to really focus on myself and not, let my family be responsible for me or my happiness and stuff. But like always, we'll keep going, even though some thoughts were quite scary in the last while. Like, I don't know, if I want to keep going. I don't know if I can handle it. And those thoughts I had, in my depression. But still, I am different. It doesn't mean my depression will happen again just because there's a lot of similarities now. And even if it does, I'll get myself out of it again. I did it before where I thought it was impossible, but I still did it. And I'll never lose myself. That's the good thing. Like, I'll always be myself. I'm always gonna have myself, and I can pull myself out because I am myself. So, there's always the possibility of getting better, of pulling yourself out. And that's also something, like, I've kind of, in the past few days as well, been like, I don't know if I can actually get better. It feels like I explained at the start of this video a bit, like, it feels like there's this burden in me, this lingering feeling that I just can't get rid of, which feels like if that's there, then I can't get better. It feels like, there's no way I can be happy when there's these problems going on. And then I'm like, Leona, you're so stupid. Like, you're making up all these problems in your mind, and there's actually people out there that are really struggling, people in war, people that are starving. So then I beat myself up for that as well, which is so stupid, because it all comes down to thought patterns. If our thoughts are strong and stable, everyone can handle everything. Yeah, that's the update. It was nice being able to talk, even though, yeah, I've gotten further in certain areas and other areas I've not. I've been in this sort of half blip for, yeah, almost, or probably 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks or something now. So yeah, it feels quite down, but again, what can I do about it? What can I do? What do I want to do? Keep asking yourself questions that give you the power back, because you know this is in you, so you are the one who can do something about it. You are the creator of your world. You are the main person of your world. You can create a nice environment even if it doesn't feel like it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope this could help someone. If you're in a certain stage of life as I am right now, then let's just not worry together, and let's just, you know, figure it out as the days go by. Don't give ourselves pressure. We have enough to, you know, handle, so why would we give ourselves more pressure? Handle whatever you have to handle, and you can. So keep going. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye. Yeah, and what I also learned in the Thrive program is that thoughts or feelings don't get bottled up. The way you experience something is because of the way you're currently thinking about it, or maximum the way you've been thinking about it for the past 2 weeks. So if you ever feel like in your life, which I also felt before in my depression, which I'm scared of that will happen again, is like that you feel like, you know, this anger is like building up inside of me, and I can't control that anymore, it's going to burst out, and you feel like it's been building up for years or months already, but really it's just the way you've been thinking about your life or your situation in the past 2 weeks. So feelings don't bottle up, they leave, they go away once you don't think about them anymore. But you know, if I ever were to like burst out again, be like angry or really, really sad, then it's not that has been bottled up for weeks and months. It's because of the way I'm currently thinking about it, or in the past 2 weeks maximum, which is interesting to me. I still can't fully believe that, but it does make sense, because if you wouldn't be thinking about it in like an extreme way, then you wouldn't be feeling it in an extreme way. So yeah, it makes sense. And so what I also realized is that basically my depression isn't happening again, or these things aren't coming up from my depression or from my childhood, because after my depression, I was thriving. I was living my best life. I felt like I could handle everything. I learned so much, grew so much. I was doing really well in life. But then when the drama happened with my family, I started using some thought patterns again, or I started using the thought patterns of like pushing down sadness, not letting myself feel it, making myself feel very powerless, telling myself I can't handle it, telling myself this is horrible, like why did this have to happen, feeling helpless, powerless, blah blah blah. So basically since then, so not since my depression, not since the time I was good, but since I lost the house and the property, since that drama with my family, since then I recreated these thought patterns, and that means I can, like, it meant anyway that I can absolutely get over this, stop it, you know, learn from it, and that I can be like I was in my depression, where it was completely helpless, but then, you know, I got out of it, so, and was thriving. So that's possible for me. And it means it's not that my depression is happening over again, but I saw a couple days ago how, like, wow, these thought patterns are from, you know, when that drama happened. That's when I created all these thought patterns and chose to use them for my protection. Did they do a good job in protecting me? I don't know. But like, that's when I built them up, and I can kind of ask myself now, the one who was thriving, like, how did you get there? What does it feel like? What did you do? What sort of thought patterns did you have for the fact that you were thriving like that? Like, what was going on in your mind? How were you so free and happy and not afraid? Like, how? Yeah, I don't know. That was a really interesting thing to see as well, how like that's where I built up my thought patterns. It's not my depression happening over again. I created these sort of thought patterns in my mind and I can change them again. I was thriving once, I can do it again. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. I feel like I didn't really explain what I really learned, but you know, it's fine. Leona, not everything needs to be perfect. It's not black and white all the time. There can be grey as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.